If you've spent the last 3 Saturday mornings walking around your house with a tape measure, you're probably in the middle of the renovate or relocate dilemma. It's that conversation that starts at the dinner table and usually ends up with a huge pile of what-ifs. You love your street, you know your neighbors, and the kids can walk to school. So you think, okay, let's add a second story instead. Maybe you can gut the main floor and finally get that open concept layout you've always wanted. But then you start to look at the quotes from the contractors and you start to wonder if you're about to pour $200,000 into a house that may not be the one anymore. It's a massive decision, honestly, and it's one of the most stressful parts of being a homeowner in Ontario right now. You aren't just deciding on a kitchen island, you're deciding how you want to live for the next. Today, I want to have a real, honest conversation about the trade-offs. We're going to look at the math, we're going to look at the stress involved, and what I like to call the unfixables, so you can decide which path actually gets you the life you want without any regret. Let's start with the renovation side of things. So we've all seen the TV shows where a house gets transformed in 45 minutes. But in places like Burlington and Oakville, the reality is a lot messier. When you're looking at a major project, something that changes the footprint of your home, you're not just paying for cabinets and flooring. You're paying for permits and engineering and a lot of things that stay behind the drywall that don't actually add to your daily enjoyment. The biggest question I ask my clients is this: are you doing this to stay or are you doing this to sell? If you plan on being in this house for another 15 years, then the return on investment matters a lot less than your happiness in the house. If that extra bedroom means your teenager finally has their own space and your marriage is less stressed, that's worth every penny. But if you're thinking, we'll fix it up, live here for 2 years, and then sell for a huge profit, you need to be very careful. In 2026, we're seeing a price ceiling in a lot of our local neighborhoods. If the highest sale on your street in Waterdown is $1.1 million and you spend $300,000 renovating a house you bought for $900,000, you are now the most expensive house on the street. Historically, that's a tough spot to be in. The market doesn't always pay you back for your specific taste in finishes if the house next door is a standard build. Now, this is where I like to help my clients by being the voice of reason. There are some things that no amount of money can fix. I call these the unfixables. If the thing that's making you want to move is the traffic on your street or the fact that you're a 20-minute drive from the amenities that you actually use, or you're just tired of the 403 commute altogether, a new kitchen is not going to solve that. You'll just be sitting in the same traffic thinking about your beautiful new kitchen. If the problem is location, or if the lot itself is the limitation, you have to be honest with yourself. You might be trying to fix a house that isn't the right fit anymore. In those cases, the renovation is just a really expensive Band-Aid. Let's talk about the hassle part of things. Everyone talks about the cost of land transfer tax and real estate fees when you move, and yeah, those are real costs. But we rarely talk about the emotional cost of living through a major renovation, the hassle. If you're doing a main floor gut job on a home in Caledonia or Ancaster, you're looking at months of living in a construction zone. That means dust literally gets everywhere. There's contractors in your driveway every day at 8 a.m., and you're washing your dishes in the bathtub. For a busy family, that stress is pretty significant. It can impact your work, your children, and your sanity. And then there's the budget creep. I have yet to meet a homeowner who finished a major renovation and said, it cost exactly what I thought it would. Especially as the home gets a little bit older, as soon as you open the wall, you find things. Maybe it's outdated plumbing, structural issues from a previous owner, or maybe it's just that once you see the new floors, you realize the stairs look really bad, so you need to do that too. Project with a budget of $150,000 inevitably creeps its way up to $180,000 or more. When you move, on the other hand, you know the price of the house. You've negotiated the price, you sign the papers, and you move in. So yes, you're trading one stress for the other. You're trading renovation and construction stress for moving stress. Obviously, moving stress is over sooner. We also have to look at the math of 2026. A lot of people are holding on to their current homes because they have a legacy mortgage rate, which means you locked in your mortgage rate at a lower number and you don't want to lose it. So you think, I'll just stay and do a renovation instead. But how are you paying for that renovation? If you're using a home equity line of credit or a renovation loan, you're borrowing that money at today's rates, which are significantly higher. Sometimes when you add the cost of your current mortgage plus the high interest payment on a $150,000 renovation loan, your total carrying cost is actually higher than if you just sold, took your equity, and moved into a house that was already finished. Plus, when you move, the entire mortgage, of course, is at a single rate. You're not juggling multiple loans with different terms, different payment dates. I always tell my clients to run the total monthly cost comparison. Don't just look at the mortgage rate. Look at the total amount of money leaving your bank account every month. Sometimes the finished house in a neighborhood like Mount Hope or a newer area of Waterdown is actually more affordable in the long run. So how do you actually decide between renovating or relocating? It comes down to two things. The first is location. If you love where you are and you have the patience for a project, renovate. If the lot is great and the location is perfect, it could very well be worth the effort. But if you're trying to force a house to be something that it just can't be, if you're trying to make a small lot feel big or a busy street feel quiet, you're better off moving. There is such a sense of relief when a family finally moves into a house that really works for them. No more, one day when we get around to it, I'll fix this, or I wish things were different. This is a big decision and you don't have to make it all on your own. If you're torn between should I stay or should I move, let's have a conversation. I can give you a real world estimate of what your home is worth in this market and show you what the other options look like in Burlington and Oakville and Hamilton. Basically, just the facts that you need to make the right move for you and your family. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.